In this chapter, let us learn to define functions in Python programs, passing values to functions as well as returning a value from functions. Besides the function definitions, let us learn to define variables by following the scope rules and safeguard the Python code against runtime anomalies. After completion of this chapter, you will be able to explain the benefits of functions in Python programming as well as the design of modular programs. Also, you will be able to develop programs involving functions with or without parameters, obeying scope rules, and using the elements of Python exception handling. In this video, let us learn to define functions by following the syntax. Let us understand the program execution sequence with function definitions and list out the benefits of having functions in programs. At the same time, let us learn to pass values to functions as well as the mechanism of parameter copy between actual and formal parameters by taking suitable examples. A function is a self-contained program segment that carries out specific task. For example, calculation of a factorial of a given number. It is a small task which can be implemented or developed as a function which takes the number as a parameter of a function and calculates the factorial of that number and returns the factorial as a result. Let us consider this example. Here we have two segments. This is a program. Program has got two segments. This is the main program and this is a function. As I said, function is a program segment, self-contained program segment. How do we define a function? The function is defined in Python with a keyword called def, which implies define, followed by function name with optional parameters called arguments. In this example, we have defined a function called hello, which takes no parameters. Also, it returns nothing, but it prints the sentence hello, how are you in different lines. Hello is printed in first line, how is printed in second line, and are you is printed in third line. How to call these function definitions? In the main program, this is the main segment of the program. We are calling this function with the help of function name with parameters. Here we have no parameters to be supplied as the definition requires no parameters, and we have called that function in the main 3 times so that you get the result hello, how are you, repeatedly printed 3 times. With respect to this function definition, this is called, the first line of a function definition is called function header. Function header contains the function definition keyword def followed by function name and optional arguments which are enclosed with parenthesis and separated by comma. That's the delimiter. And the indented code represents the body of the function body. Execution sequence of a function. When the program encounters the function call, the program execution control jumps to the function and start executing the code which is found in the body of a function in a sequential manner. Once the program control reaches the end of the function, the program execution control returns to the line which follows the function call in the called function. That is normally a main program in the previous example. In this way, the previous example, we have hello, how are you, that is being printed 3 times, as the hello function is called 3 times. The program control jumps to the function 3 times as there are 3 function calls. What are the advantages of defining functions? The major advantage is we can group the code that gets executed multiple times. Let us take up the scenario of computing binomial coefficient. Binomial coefficient needs the calculation of factorial 3 times. That is factorial of n minus r, and factorial of r. And if we write a program, we need to repeat the code which calculates the factorial of a number at 3 different places in order to estimate or calculate the binomial coefficient. That factorial code is being repeated 3 times. What are the limitations of such code? If you repeat a code at multiple places, the program would become lengthy in terms of lines of code. Definitely it leads to poor readability for another programmer, and also unnecessary duplication of a code. Simply copy paste of the same code with minor variation again degrades the readability of the program. How we can overcome these limitations? We define a function which calculates the factorial. It takes the parameter and returns the factorial. Parameter is a number and returns the factorial. And we can make a call at 3 times by supplying the 3 different values. Factorial, that is the n, then supply a parameter n minus r, and finally r. And then use the arithmetic expression to calculate binomial coefficient. With this way, we can have a short code in terms of number of lines, and also we can avoid the duplicating of code at multiple places. This is the major advantage of reusing the code. That is also called as a code reusability. We can reuse the same code at multiple times without the repeating same code at multiple places. And the secondary benefits are readability. As I said, it reduces the number of lines and thus it improves the readability of the program. And second benefit is a easy maintenance. If you want to change a code, you can directly change the code of that function. You don't have to alter the main program. Easy maintenance. If a program contains the large number of functions, and if you don't use a function concept, you have to terminate the function program execution, and then you have to maintain that program. Here, if you use the function approach, you can only stop the execution, or you can modify the code of a particular function, and you can do the necessary corrections without affecting the rest of the code. This is what I mean easy maintenance. These are the two secondary benefits, readability and easy maintenance. And the major benefit is a code reusability, wherein we can group the code which that gets executed at multiple times, and we can avoid duplication of code in a program. Like built-in functions, we can also define the custom functions. It means programmer can define the functions that accept arguments. Let us take up the example. In this example, we define a function called hello, which takes the parameter name. This is also called as a formal parameter, as it is found in the function header. In this function header or function definition, we have only one parameter, that is called name, and the body consists of a single statement, print hello and the parameter name with the concatenation operator. This is the main program, the main segment. The function is being called 2 times, and the parameter that we are supplying in the function call, this is function definition, this is function call, this is called as a argument. Normally in a programming terminology, we use the word actual parameter or actual argument. This is called formal argument or formal parameter. This is called actual parameter or actual argument. As we had a single parameter at the function definition, we need to supply actual value to the parameter. That's why we use the word actual parameter. This is the actual value that we are supplying. Here we are supplying Alice. Alice is the actual value that is copied to a parameter name. This is the parameter name. This is the argument. Alice is the value which is an argument, is copied to a formal parameter name when there is a function call. Similarly, for this second call, the argument Bob is copied to the parameter name, and accordingly we get the message that is printed, hello Bob. Formally, a parameter is a variable that an argument is stored in when a function is called. Similarly, the argument is a value or a variable that is supplied to a function when there is a function call. Remember that the parameters store the actual values or actual arguments, and the parameters are forgotten when the function returns. It means that if you use the parameter in the main, it results in a name error, because the main program where there is a function call, there is no variable named, for example, a name with reference to the previous program. Thus, the variable name is not accessible in the main program. It is accessible only within the function that is surrounded with the function header with the parameter name. That is also called as a scope. The scope of a parameter is confined to a function definition only. Its scope is not extended till the main program. Thus, the programmer need to remember that the parameter which is found on the function header is accessible only within the program, which cannot be used in the main program. In case it is used, it results in a name error. Let us consider the first example, guessing the number game. What is this game? This is a simple game wherein we write the secret number and we ask the person to guess the secret number. At the same time, we will not give the infinite opportunities to the person to guess the number. We give a limited options, maybe 5 rounds or 7 or 10. And for every guess, if he guesses the same secret number, yes, he is the winner. If he doesn't guess the correct number, then we will give a hint or a clue saying that your guess number is less than the secret number, or the guess number is above the secret number. And this will be repeated for the number of times, maybe 5 opportunities or 7 opportunities. Within those opportunities, if he doesn't tell the secret number, he is the loser. How do we write a program? Basically, we have to use the random method or a random function to generate one random number between a range, let us say 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, so that we get a secret number. And then for the number of opportunities, let us say 5 opportunities for the person to guess, or 10 or 7 or whatever, we ask the person to enter the number from the console. And then let us check the entered number with the key element, key secret number, and if it is less, we print a message. We give a hint saying that guess number is less or guess number is more, and if it is equal, we stop the further opportunities for him because he has already guessed the number, and we congratulate the person saying that you have guessed the number. And if he doesn't guess the number with the number of opportunities given to him, we will give a regret message saying that you are unable to guess the secret number. Let us take up this program. This is the program where we import the library called random. This random library has got number of random number generation functions. In this program, we will use the function called random integer, randint. Randint function will takes 2 arguments here in this program. One is the random number that is to be generated between lower bound and upper bound. And in this program, we are taking the random number between 1 to 20, and we assign that generated random number to a variable called secret number. This is the secret number that is randomly generated. And then we give the opportunities for the user, wherein we are using the looping statement, and we give the 7 opportunities for each guesses taken in the range 1 to 7. That means we give him 6 opportunities. This range is from 1 to 6. 6 times this for loop will be executed. 6 opportunities, and for each opportunity let the user enter the number, enter his guess, and if the guess is less than secret number, we give a hint saying that your guess is too low, and if the guess is above the secret number, we give again hint saying that guess is too high, and if he has exactly guessed the number, let us terminate this loop so that we don't have to offer him the further opportunities because he has already guessed the secret number. And once this guessed number is equal to secret number after all the opportunities, or even in the instance of the loop termination, if guess is equal to secret number, we congratulate him with the message saying that you have guessed the number and the number is this. And if there is no termination of loop with the correct guess and for loop is terminated because of it has given all the 6 opportunities, for loop is terminated because of that it has considered all these 6 opportunities. We can we can send a regret message now saying that whatever number the secret number is not guessed properly, and we can even give the secret number. Here in this program we are giving the secret number. You have not guessed the number, and this is the secret number. This is a simple game that we can play with the computer with this code. Now let us develop a simple program to generate square and a square root of a given number. To write this program, we have to use a math library of Python. We use the import statement to import the math library, and then we use the square root function to get the square root of a number. Here is the program. We import a math library, and we are writing a function called square root, which takes first argument, that is a number. This is actually a parameter, and it returns 2 data items. One is square, the number **2 is a square of a number, and the second item is a square root. Math.sqrt of this number will return a square root. This is the function which returns a tuple, that means more than one item separated with comma. First item is the square of a number, and second item is the square root of a number. And here is the main segment. There's the main program wherein we read the number as a string, then we convert that read number in the form of string to an integer with the type conversion function int. Then we make a call to our function square root by supplying this argument. The number is the argument, actual argument is being supplied, and this function, as I explained, returns a tuple, that means multiple items. First is the square of a number, assign it to a variable sqr, and second item you assign it to a root. Finally print square and square root with the suitable message. This is a message where we display number, actual the number and its square, and finally uh, the square root. And this is the result of execution. Consider the third example. To develop a function for the simulation of a simple calculator to calculate the arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. How do we design and develop this simple calculator? We have to write a function for the calculator having three parameters. One is to take up the operand 1, and second parameter for the operand 2. The third parameter to take or to read the operator. First two parameters, let us take up floating point or integer type. The third parameter, let us have the character, or that is string, as we pass the operator. And we use if else structure, if structure to check the operator, whether it is plus, minus, division operator, or star multiplication. And based on the operator, we will return the value. In case of addition, plus, we add and return, and similarly for subtraction and other operators. And we define a main program. We read two numbers from the user, and also we read the operator, that is a character, from the operator, and we make a call to a function calculator by supplying operand 1, operand 2, and the operator, and we get the result which may be displayed on the screen. Here is the program. This is the function calculator, which takes two operands, that is the first number and second number, and the third parameter is operator, and we use else if ladder structure to check whether the operator is a addition, plus we return the sum of first number and second number. If it is minus, we subtract and return fnum minus snum, and if it is star, multiply and return the result. And for the division, you divide first number by second number. And finally, for the default, if some other operator is supplied in the function call, let us return the message called invalid operator. This is the main program segment. We read two operands, operand 1 and operand 2. We read operator also, character, and then we make a call to a function calculator by supplying the arguments operand 1 and operand 2 and the operator, which are copied to first number, second number, and operator respectively. And if the type of the result is a string, that's in case this happens when there is an invalid operator that is being supplied, we print the result saying that invalid operator. If the type of result is not of a class str, if it is of a class float, then we display the result saying that result of particular operation involving these two operands is the result. So this is the tuple containing all these values: operator, operand 1, operand 2, and the result. Result of operator, that is operation on two operands, is the result. This is how correspondingly we have listed the arguments. for the print function as a tuple. Here is the sample execution snap wherein we are supplying two numbers and the operation star, and we have a result of multiplication. To summarize, the function definition or the development of program with multiple functions facilitates the modular programming, wherein the programmer can divide the complex problem into number of subproblems, and each subproblem may be implemented with the help of or by defining suitable function. The function has many advantages. The primary advantage is code reusability, wherein the length of code, that means number of lines, may be reduced by defining a function for a code which appears repetitively in a program. The secondary benefits are easy maintenance as well as the readability. The programmer can also define functions with parameters and without parameters. And by this time, you are in a position to write programs involving functions to improve the efficiency of code in terms of number of lines.